Well, hello and welcome to Live with Rachel. On Live with Rachel, our mission is to inspire others to take control of their lives through questions asked, opinions shared, personal stories, and experiences and breakthroughs. My name is Rachel and I am your host, and I am a 31-year-old single female who decided to make this TV show because it was COVID, it was winter, and why the hell not? And if this is your first time tuning in, well, you are in for a treat because we have been going through the 101 questions that you should be asking yourself throughout your life. We have been asking a ton of questions, and we are officially on number 69 of the 101 questions. And today's question is, what bad habits do you want to break? So if you are looking to just be like, oh, you know what, I don't want to do any kind of work, I just want everything to go the way that I want it to go, then you know what, this is not for you. These are for people who actually want to identify the things that they want to improve upon and move forward with. So I want to help you guys out with that. Just because, you know what, we got to help each other out. This is the crazy world that we're living in. And plus, also, I like talking to everybody. And hey, Daniel, good to see you. And if you are popping in, let me know that you're here. Would love to be able to say hello to those who are tuning into the show. And again, so let's dive into the question now that I have talked relentlessly for the last, 2 minutes. I got to breathe, right? I got to breathe. So today's question is, what bad habits do you want to break? Anytime I look at one of these questions, I want to get into the nitty-gritty of what the definition is. So first, bad. We all know what bad is, but let's go into a little further. Poor quality and low standard. There is no reason why anyone should settle for a low standard. So keep that in mind when I think about this question. And then also a habit. We all know what a habit is, but I like the wording of the definition. It's a regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. So let's dive into that. So what the question is really asking is, what low standard is tough for you to give up, but you know you need to in order to move forward? Think about it. So everyone has some different habits, and you may be watching right now and going, Rachel, I don't have any bad habits. I have everything under control. And you know what? For the most part, you may. But there are always new habits being formed. There's always new different things going on that we can always work and grow upon. So to kind of help out with identifying what the bad habit is, of course, Google helps me with everything. And I looked at the 10 habits that could be destroying your happiness. And we want to take a hold of this happiness that we have because, honestly, we only have one life. And hey, James, how you doing? Good to see you. So again, those 10 habits. Number 1, postponing your goals. Think about it. Have you ever had a goal and you're like, oh, I'm going to do it when this happens. I'm going to do it when this happens. I'm going to do it when this happens. Let me tell you something. If you're going to wait for someone to make the decision for you, you're never going to do it. So just a heads up there. So don't postpone your goals. Set a deadline to things. 2, living a mediocre life. If you're living a mediocre life, you're robbing yourself of the happiness. So come on, let's go. 3rd, I like this one, self-sabotaging. I like it as one of the 10. Because self-sabotaging really is any pattern that keeps disrupting your growth, your success, or your happiness. This is actually something that I'll dive into later about my own personal experiences. Number 4, running from your problems, not actually facing them. The more you run away from it, the worse they get. So just handle it the way that it is right now. Also, it doesn't do any good to worry about something twice. 5, worrying about your flaws. If there's things about you that you find that are flawful, well, work on them. If they really do take away from your happiness and your growth and your success, then work on them. But there's also focus in that. So let me keep going. Number 6, trying to control everything. Do I have any control freaks out there? I'm one of them. I can be one of those. So trying to control everything. We have to, as my family and I like to say, whenever there's something going on, we quote Frozen, we go, let it go, let it go. It's actually very funny. It's a family thing. I'm crazy. Trying to control everything. Number 7, blaming others. Now, if you are someone who in the last year and a half, it says, it's my boss's fault. It's the company's fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's because of where I grew up. It's because of this. Guys, you gotta stop blaming others. You're not a child. Stop waiting for the world to be your own mommy and daddy and step up and say, you know what? No, I gotta get this done. So stop blaming others for your own problems. Just heads up. Trying to be something you're not, that is something that I personally have worked on a lot. And I mean, you know, I buzzed my head, so I'm trying to really just be me. Number 9, living in the past or in the future. That can be a big one, because if you're living in the past, even from a physiological standpoint, if your brain is actually stuck in the past, your body will react as if it were in that moment right there whenever the bad was actually happening. That's really detrimental to where you can be today. So think about the present as a gift, and I encourage you all to open it. And number 10, consistent complaining. Have you ever been around that like one person in the office or at your work or something that's just bitching and moaning about everything? It's detrimental to your mental health, and it's not, you don't want to feed into that. So when it comes to breaking your bad habits, do you do one of these 10, or can you identify one of them? Now, just here's the thing. I want you to focus on just one, and here's why. When you focus on too many things at too many times, and trust me, I am guilty of this, I'm like the queen of this, you end up falling behind in everything else. So just focus on one thing. What's one bad habit that you want to improve upon? You got it? If you feel brave, share it in the comments. I hope you're brave. But so now that you've identified what your bad habit is that you want to break, now we got to figure out how to break it. So how do we break these bad habits? You can identify this in a three-step process. The first is identify the triggers. Think about that bad habit of yours and what happens leading up to. What mindset are you in? Where are you physically? Because bad habits are things, again, that recur consistently. Think about what leads up to that. Number 2, figure out if the reward is worth it. So based on what your bad habit is, you get something out of it, or else you wouldn't consistently do it. We, as humans, we either avoid pain or seek pleasure. So our bad habits are either doing one of those two things. So we have to rewire, how are we actually perceiving this situation? And number 3, find a more rewarding reward. So when I was looking at all of this, I thought about an example that I've recently gone through, and actually kind of happened to me today. For those of you who have not had an opportunity to share this with, back in 2018, I had gotten my dream job. I'm still in that job today. It's really kind of fun. I get to talk to agents all over the country and help them with their business. It's really cool. I had also gained 20 pounds in the first 2 months of having that job. And I was really focused from January to June to release the weight. And I released not only the 20 pounds, but also an additional 20 on top of that. Took a while, but really proud of that. And what I realized is that I was triggered to do certain things. And I caught myself today. So I had just finished up with a meeting. I had like 30 minutes until my next meeting, and I was tired. I just hadn't done talking, wanted to relax or whatever. And then I went downstairs and I went to open the fridge. I wasn't hungry. I wanted to fill the time with something other than what being in the office, which now I have a really good office because I get my dad's office now, which is really quite cool. So nice. I'll have to do a live in there one of these days. But that's one of the things that I realized was it wasn't because I was hungry I was going to the fridge, it's because I was bored. So how could I have redid that? What is there something else that I could have put my time, effort, and energy into that could have served me more rather than going down to the fridge, opening up the fridge and grabbing something? Now, granted, I caught myself. And that's where you got to do when it comes to breaking these habits. You got to catch yourself in the moment and realize, whoa, what is this actually doing? Because if I would have continued forward, then I would be breaking the healthy habits. But I caught myself. So that's how you first break your habits. You first need to identify what is one bad habit that I want to break. Maybe it's I want to stop sleeping in. Maybe it's I want to stop snacking constantly. Maybe you've been procrastinating on something that you know would better yourself, and yet you just say, I'm waiting for this day to happen. I'm waiting for this day to happen. Well, I mean, if I were there with you, I would tell you today's the day, so let's go. That's what I have for you guys today. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, this was What Bad Habits Do You Want to Break? My name is Rachel. I'm the host of Live with Rachel. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, please share it with your friends. And if I'm reposting this on Instagram and YouTube, please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, because I'm working on the social media thing and I'm figuring it out. So, y'all have a great night, and we can't just leave. We gotta have some fun. We gotta keep going with our song over here, changing something new. I'll be back on Monday for our next question of Live with Rachel. And if there is anything that you guys want to have a question to ask, anything like that, let me know. I'm looking to get some new content on here, and I'm here for you guys, so let me know. Everything is changing. Woo! I'll see you guys later. Bye. And thank you, James.